Good evening and welcome to a nighttime edition of Hashtag Fantasy Basketball Journal. I'm your host, Stan White, under the lights at Sam Hinkie University here, where we never take no for an answer. Meaning, we're still undefeated. Meaning, we continue to trust the process. Meaning, trust your process. Alright, well, we've lucked out, more or less, in terms of still being undefeated, and that's for a multitude of reasons. One of which being, kids in my league don't really swap positions with their players. There's no roster adjustment. There's no adjustment for research. There's no adjustment for hot streaks or trends. So in that regard, we're able to kind of pick and choose where we please, such as the acquisition of Rajon Rondo, which we're going to get into today, but I just wanted to kind of get that out and about for Nemanja Bjelica, because Nemanja has had a couple of underwhelming performances, and just really at this point would rather get a guard that can deliver out of position stats such as assists, blocks, rebounds. I'm sorry, not blocks and rebounds. The assists are going to come if he's a point guard. So, continuing on, my eyes, not really sure. If I squint the whole time, I look attentive. If they're just open, or they're like open wide, I don't know. Hashtag Fear the Beard, it's back. Just a warning. Alright, so I'm your host, Stan White. Again, esteemed host. Standoutwhite87 at gmail.com, Facebook, Stan White, Twitter, hashtag Free Grantland or at StanWhite87, Instagram, Real White Dude. I think that's all of them. Oh, and of course, my YouTube channel. Find it under my name, Stanley White Jr., or Fantasy Basketball Journal. Let me refer back to the notes. Alright, so this is a recap of last week's results. We were up 7-1, then we went down 5-3, then we went back up 7-1. Like I said, the averages play out. The numbers themselves will adjust. You must be patient. As we said in our last episode, see what you need throughout the week. Or, if there's someone who's just not cutting it their worth, if you feel as though you can find better production elsewhere, go ahead and do it. I love Bjelica, but I didn't need to have him giving me offers in points he's a threes and rebounds stretch 4, so if he's not giving you that, then you need to find those numbers elsewhere. I'm not saying that there's a direct correlation between what Rondo was giving me and what Bjelica was giving me, but Rondo's giving me a lot of everything, and Bjelica is still finding his way through the league. It's his rookie season. He'll be alright. He's not like Kristaps the God. Alright, so I'm not going to waste too much time going over. This is a combination of episode 7 and episode 8, by the way. My key performers from last week, as of the weekend. It looks like Steph Curry had a hell of a night against Toronto. Looks like Paul Millsap has 6 rebounds, 17-point performance. Thad Young has 16.5 steal, 11 rebound performance. And then we go into a little bit later that week. Hashtag can't Google Evan Fournier. I know, we just looked at the paperwork way too long. Sorry. Hashtag can't Google Evan Fournier of the Magic. Gave 26 points, 5 threes made, 529 field goal shooting, and 750 from the free throw line. That's somebody getting shot behind me. Don't worry about it. We'll call the cops later. It's a joke. Paul Millsap versus Sacramento, 16 rebounds, 23 points. Hell of a night there. And Kemba's been on fire lately. Check out his stat line. 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 18 points. This was against Brooklyn last week. Thad Young, 8 rebounds, 27 points, and a loss to Charlotte. Zaza still bringing the heat. 12 rebounds, 14 points. Still bringing the heat. And then later on, some notes. And then later on, we go into detail about the Rondo for Bialichka. We are witnessing the return of Prime Rondo. What do I mean by that? How about 9 rebounds, 18 assists, 14 points made? I called it the boogie effect. We put Goran Dragic on alert. Wasn't really sure if he's somebody we want to keep going forward. Come to a resolution on that. We're gonna ride it out with Goran. We love the Dragon. We have a secret affinity for all Eastern European players. It's just a matter of being in the business that is me. We're gonna hold on to the Dragon. What we learned from last week. By this point of the season, you should know your trends. You should know your lineups. If your team is locked in and concrete and set, and you had an awesome draft, that's great, because then what you can do is just adjust your lineup accordingly for each night. There have been years I've had a better year auto drafting this year than I did participating in real drafts in the past. Not gonna go into it. Just say I drafted my team. And with that being said, you should be able to make adjustments for each night in deciding who you're going to play, who you're not going to play. If you need to bench somebody, bench them. If you need to cut somebody, cut them. That's where you should be at this point in this campaign. If not, that's fine. What you may want to look into doing is doing an assessment of league-wide scores and tracking minutes per game. So that way you know, okay, well, hey, Jody Meeks is hurt. KCP for Detroit is getting 35 minutes per game. Who's behind him? TJ McConnell's getting 30 minutes per game, lead guard for the Sixers. Who's behind him? Just little things like that. Who's the backup center in Memphis right now? Who's the backup forward in Memphis? What's the big rotation for if you need boards and you need blocks? Who are the teams leading in those categories? Who's leading offensive and defensive rebounding? Things of that nature. You should probably have a good sense of what your team needs. Now, we need blocks, but that's the only category that we're lacking in. So we're not really making too many adjustments. I'm here for you guys. We're killing it. #FBJ, we out.